Alright guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to Hair Experience. Curtis, what do you talk about? Talk about hair systems and hair replacements, getting hair back on your head. We talk about bonding it, cutting it, cleaning it, installing it, and maintaining it, and a life with it. Subscribe if you would consider it. It's important to this guy here, super important. And the ebook will teach you how to do it all. The video ebook will teach you if you don't like to read, which I don't like to read. Not a big reader. Hairbymhe.com will also get you your hair unit. Use code MHE20 to get your unit for 20% off. Anyways, that pays the bills, guys. I'm riding in the passenger seat. Figured I'd do my video while I was riding down the road, a little bit change of scenery. So anyways, what are you talking about today, Curtis? I'm talking about units and the differences, the plus, the pros, the cons of any given unit. So if the camera's a little shaky, it's because I'm holding it with my hand. I don't have a prop or anything. First off, I'll start about poly. Okay, poly, the pros and the cons. The pros, realistic, fantastic hairline. That's really the best pro you can get to it. Honestly, that's the biggest thing that unit has going for it. Other than that, I mean, there's no pro to the unit in comparison to any other thing. It's all about the same. I mean, it's about, as long as the density looks good. Oh, the other pro is no chance for screwed up knots, like non-bleached knots or knots that look dotty or whatever, you know, that kind of stuff. And guys, when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm not talking about my own product. I'm just talking about product in general. Any product that comes from anybody. Doesn't matter where it comes from. But if you want that realistic, perfect, beautiful hairline with no knots, you do pay the price. And then we're going to go into the cons for that. You're going to have shorter time, just longevity time with the unit. That unit will last you, depending on how you treat it, anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks. You know, in the winter, it'll probably last you longer because there's not a lot of sun out, etc. You're not as active, things like that. Your cleanup's going to be a little bit harder with a polyurethane unit just because the glue seems to stick to it a lot easier, and it's a lot more difficult, if that's the way you could say it, a lot more. Is that the way how you say it? A lot more? More difficult? More difficult to clean up. And if you do all those factors together, you have a higher cost over time to have that, but you get that perfect hairline from it. It's a toss-up, guys. I like a Swiss lace unit. I like a poly-based unit, but I prefer a poly now since I got a good attachment and learned how to do it how I like it, if that makes sense. I actually tape the perimeter backside and I glue the front. I get good venting that way. I don't feel overheated. Let me see if I can hold the camera with my other hand. My arm's getting tired. So I get good venting that way, and also it's not really that hard of a job to do. All right, so you'll have higher cost over time because you're going through more and more units compared to a lace unit. All right, we'll go to Swiss lace. Your Swiss lace is going to be, it's going to have a good longevity, you know, 3 to 4 months on average. Now, if you work an office job, you'll get more time out of it than that. I'll show you guys where I live. If you can see that, hopefully you don't just see a reflection from the window. But that's where we live. All right, you have a good cleanup. Your cleanup is actually not that bad. When it comes to cleaning the unit, it usually cleans up fairly easy in comparison. God, this camera is shaky. It cleans up fairly easy in comparison to a poly unit because your glues will just kind of roll off with the cotton ball, etc. Your cons to that unit, I'm just trying to read my list at the same time because I don't want to get all forgetting what I had in my head. You're gonna get a less pretty hairline, and it's not that it's a bad one. I'm not saying that at all. It's some people prefer the hairline of a Swiss lace compared to a poly. I personally don't, but you will get a great exposed hairline out of a Swiss lace unit as well. You could end up with bad bleached knots. If you do, then you're going to see these little dots on your forehead that appear to be like a plug almost, like you got hair plugs, you know, like a transplant, but it's more like the knot, you see it and it has this black dot, and it's really not very appealing. Anything 12 inches or back, you really won't even notice that. And they stretch and deform, and the lace actually, I don't know, doesn't want to lay flat. It'll start wrinkling, and I'm going to do a video just on wrinkling as well, but they'll start to wrinkle, so when they lay down on the head, they'll kind of do this wrinkling thing, and you'll see it, which is unbecoming of a unit. You don't want that. So your possibility of stretching that unit out is a problem. All right, we're going to go to French lace. The biggest thing that French lace, or any kind of lace that's thicker like that, the biggest thing that it has going for it is longevity. That's a huge, huge deal when it comes to a unit, is value for cost. So guys, if you do not have an exposed hairline, if you do like a Bieber sweep, or something that just has a normal part to it or whatever, do a French. And I say that just because you'll get more value for your money over time, and you're not that worried about exposing the hairline. But if you are, go to a Swiss or a poly. And that's the only con a French really has. A French is going to feel a little more rough on your head. You'll feel it a little more, if that makes sense. It's not going to feel like a burlap sack, but it's not going to, maybe the comfort level could be down a little bit because of that. So that's what I got today, guys. I hope that information helps. Helps you guys decide what you're going to get or what have you. Understand that, the unit quality and the truth behind the unit is a big deal. You could order a Swiss lace unit from a company, and it's actually a French lace unit, but you really can't even see the difference from the layman eye. Like normal people, you would literally have to have one side by side to compare those two differences to know that exactly that one you got is this and not something else, if that makes sense. So don't get taken advantage of by that kind of situation. I'm trying to think of what else. I want to go back to poly a little bit. Back to poly. There are multiple different thicknesses and densities on a poly. A 0.03, 0.05, 0.08, 1.0 millimeter. Now, if you... Oh boy, almost had a wreck. Not us. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not driving and filming. I'm in the passenger seat. But yeah, if you get a thicker unit like a 0.05 or a 0.08, you can get that unit denser, but your hairline might look bad because it's a thicker unit and it's going to want to have this edge to it that looks kind of janky. We don't want that. Personally, I don't want some line there. I'd just rather have a lace unit if I was going to do that. So I hope that information helps, guys. Subscribe below. Super important to Curtis. It is. It's going to be down there in the corner. Anyways, that's what I got today, guys. We'll see you in a couple days. MyHairExperience.com will get you all your stuff you need. Starter kit, books, knowledge. Knowledge is a big deal, guys. Also, hairbymhe.com will get you your hair. We are a one-stop shop. Don't want to sell you. That's not what I'm trying to do. Just giving you information. Hit me up in the comments if you got any questions, and we'll see you in a couple days. Peace out.